Well, hello, family, friends, and YouTube. Well, it's finally happened. Yes, it did. It's bound to happen to us all, and that is that moment when you drop your Goldwing onto the ground in the middle of the parking lot in front of God and everybody. I was at Southern Honda Power Sports on March 29th, and I had Snowee positioned to where she could have photographs with people. And I had her on her center stand to make her more stable so that when people touched her and everything, that nothing would happen. Well, we were asked to move the motorcycles a little further up so vendors could park where we were at. So I just simply grabbed Snowee like I normally do, and I was on the left side of her, and I gave her a little push. She came off the center stand like normal, except she started to lean to the right. And when I mean started to lean to the right, it was 6 inches or so, and I knew she was going, so I let her go. And she fell from almost straight up position and right to her side and landed on the PANICAL crash bars that I told you that I would update you the moment. And I knew I would eventually drop her, but I didn't think I would do it in front of a major event with all the motorcycle people, all the Honda Goldwing and some Harley people at a major event at Southern Honda Power Sports. That's where I got Snowee from, and never thought that's where I would drop Snowee. So anyway, when she started to go over, I couldn't hold her. I let her go, and I just prepared myself for this is going to be a lot of damage. I was at the dealership, so I was going to have to go in and order new side panels or whatever. But when she fell over, no one caught it on film. We had everybody and their brother there with cameras, and nobody had it on film. I got plenty of witnesses. Everybody. Cruiseman was there. Cruiseman helped me lift her back up. But since I don't have any footage of her falling, I used a police sketch artist to compose a photo of her laying on the ground as if she had fallen, so that you could see what she would look like having fallen with no video. Now, having said that, I was surprised. I was overwhelmingly surprised. I believe Cruiseman was too, that when that bike hit, and I mean it hit, the crash bars caught the entire bike. No OEM parts touched the ground. Now, what I mean by no OEM parts, I have little foot deflectors, the air deflectors, and of course, you know, they touch the ground every time you turn the corner. So obviously those touch the ground, and the crash bar itself. And there was barely any damage to the crash bar. But there is some. It scratched the bottom of the crash bar. You can't see it unless you look underneath it, but it was there. I knew it was there, and that's all that matters. So that will drive me crazy, having that about a 1-inch scrape underneath my crash bar that nobody can see. But I said I would share my first incident with the viewers so that they know what this product did. Now, let's talk about when I first put the bars on and go from there. When I first put the bars on, and you can see in this little video clip, they were anchored to the subframe, and I think cosmetically they looked fine. My biggest concern was, would they support the weight of the bike as advertised in the event of a tip over? They have a shine. They're a little shiny, and I would have preferred flat black, but anyway, as you can see underneath there, where they're mounted to the subframe. The bolts that they put on are mounted to the underneath frame. A lot of places where you put highway foot pegs, things like that. But they went over top of the OEM bumper guard there. So that little bumper that's on the right and left of the of the bike the bars protrude beyond that, so that those little plastic pieces do not even touch the ground at all. So when it tips, it's protected. As you can see from the video clips here, you'll see the bike sitting on its side and you see it resting on the actual crash bar itself, you know, so you see that it doesn't go all the way over according to the manufacturer. Now, what can I say about it? I can say that it did what I hoped it would do. Um, I'm not trying to sell the product. I don't do that on my channel. I mean, if I use a product, I will share it with you, but I don't market any particular product. I just share my experience with it. And my experience with these crash bars is they did save me money. Now, these crash bars are almost $500. So you would have to factor in how much does it cost to replace the saddlebags, and I don't know what else would hit. Maybe the mirrors from like Max McAllister's videos, plus the bumper guard, the little rubber pieces on the side that you would have to probably straighten back out from the impact. I'm not sure, but $500, maybe I saved $500 by the tip over. But since none of the subframes, or I even looked at where all the mounting points were just to see if there was just a hair bit of a bend where they're mounted, and if there is, it's millimeters, because I don't see any change in the measurements of when the bars were first put on there. So what that means is I can technically drop the bike again, and maybe again. I'm not looking forward to any of that. I just wanted to get that first drop out of the way, and I'm done. I'm over. I'm good. But I did need to share with the viewers, as promised, my very first incident. I would report to you on these crash bars. Now, PANICAL, do I think that these crash bars are a little high price? $500, pretty close to $500 off Amazon. I'd say yes, they're probably just a tad bit overpriced. But now with having the experience, is that overpriced or not? I don't know. I can tell you right now, they work. And I can tell you that there's no damage to any part of that bike. Now, if PANICAL, if you're listening, your air deflectors, your feet air deflectors, you need to shave them or something, because you shouldn't be scraping every time you turn a corner at any more than just a normal turn. I mean, I know it makes you ride straight up, and I know that the common answer is maybe you need to ride more responsibly, but hey, we're not talking about dragging knees here. We're not talking about sports bike riding. We're just talking about fairly decent curves, and then you get a little scrape. Now, don't worry, PANICAL. I'm going to scrape those things down until they're shaved off enough to where they're accustomed to my way of riding. But I think you might want to look at your product and maybe shave it off a little bit. But that's just me. Again, I don't work for the company, but I want to share that with my viewers. So until next time, just live your life.